Well, I'm Tessa, and I'd like to welcome you to Glenwhan Gardens here at Dunragit in southwest Scotland. It's hard to imagine that just 30 years ago this was all bracken and gorse. There was absolutely nothing, and really quite fun to think that we bought it over the telephone without ever having seen it. The first thing that we did 30 years ago was to fence 12 acres and plant a mixed shelter belt round the whole perimeter. And the next thing we did was to make 2 small lochans. The whole concept of the 12 acres of garden gradually evolved like Topsy. It grew ever outwards. And the very first thing we did was to buy 100 hardy hybrid rhododendrons and azaleas. This is the Peace Pinnacle by Joe Smith, and we put this in to mark the millennium. It also marks the garden that we've made and the wild. We're standing actually at the highest point of the garden, and this is one of the most unique things about Glenwhan, is the fact that we have this spectacular view over Luce Bay and the Mull of Galloway, and actually we can see the Isle of Man when it's a clear day. Hydrangeas are actually an important feature of Glenwhan Gardens because they give lots of lovely colour in the back end of the season. We're here in the species rhododendron glade, all the natives that grow in the Himalayas, and most of these rhododendrons have been collected and grown from seed. And this is rhododendron Sino Grande, the largest leafed rhododendron. And of course, to start with, we planted the hardy hybrids because they would grow without any shelter, but now that we're into the shelter belt, we've got shelter and they will thrive. You have to wait some years before they flower. Gardens are ever-evolving things, and 2 years ago this bed was full of a horrible old rose which never flowered. So we've redone the whole bed, and I'm now growing alströmerias, lilies, all sorts of plants and bulbs. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your short tour with me around the gardens, and we do look forward to your visiting. We've got a lovely tea room with homemade baking and a thriving little plant centre, so we very much look forward to welcoming you to the gardens.